So guys, before we get started, don't forget we do have that amazing discount code thanks to Tier 0 Games going on right now. And all you have to do is put in ZW Games 5 to get 5% discount on your total order at tier0games.com. The links will be in the description below. What's up YouTube? Dale here from Zephyr Games, bringing you, as requested, an updated Dark Magician deck profile involving Union Carrier and Predaplant Verte Anaconda, which we get in Dual Overload coming out this week. So I did a combo for you guys involving the Union Carrier, where you end the board with a Dark Magician on 3500 attack and locking your opponent out of the extra deck. Now you can actually adapt this combo to any deck you want, as long as one of your boss monsters, or in general, one of your cards is either a dragon or a dark monster. You can play the Union Carrier combo and lock your opponent out of the extra deck. Do not be surprised if the Buster Whelp gets banned, but until it actually officially does, we do get 2 beautiful weeks with it. But on that downside, we also get 2 not so beautiful weeks with the Lunalite loop, basically. The only good thing about that is I don't expect that to survive the ban list either. Before I get into the profile, please smash that like button. We have got so many more videos coming up for you guys because of Dual Overload. And we'll also be bringing you combos, more talks, absolutely anything. And just by hitting that thumbs up button and subscribing to the channel, your support means everything to us. So we really do appreciate that. I will show you the combo towards the end of the video as well. Just repeat the one that's already on the channel, just so it's all in one place for you. But with that said and done, let's get into the profile. So we start off with the main deck. Now the main deck with Dark Magician is pretty standard. You play your triple Dark Magician. Any artwork you like is entirely up to you. I prefer the original artwork, but then this artwork has kind of caught my eye as well. Really, really beautiful artwork, and I really enjoy playing Dark Magician regardless. Triple Magician's Rod, this searches you out about 80% of your deck. Technically being able to search out any of your Dark Magician spells or traps in the deck, that can then lead you into other components of your deck as well. Then we play 3 Magician Souls. Now, souls are coming down in price, especially with the ban list looming as well. They're still about 50 quid each. If you don't want to play souls, or you don't have souls to play, you can swap these out for any extender. All you need for this deck to be a decent extender with your Union Carrier is it needs to be 2 monsters with either the same type or attribute. So if you replace these for 3 spellcaster extenders or 3 dark extenders, you'll be absolutely fine. So if you want to put the dangers in, it will do the job just as well. It does lack the consistency of getting the Dark Magician to your hand or to the field, but in play of that, you can also play stuff like Ancient Rules, just to get the Dark Magician there. We then play triple Tenyi Spirit Vishuddha. Level 7 card, special summon it if you control no effect monsters, so it's a very, very good card to open up with. It does give you instant rank 7 plays if you're able to open up this and souls. It also helps contribute towards the Union Carrier combo as well, and as long as you control a non-effect monster, which is Dark Magician, you can banish this card from the graveyard and bounce 1 card your opponent controls. Again, very, very useful and has so much utility in the deck. The fact that it's dark as well uses a very, very good fodder for Allure of Darkness later on in the game. We then play double Apprentice Illusion. This is just for the extender plays as well. If you don't want to play Apprentice, or you want to play less of it, and you don't want to play the Magician of Dark Illusion, you can swap these out for the Ritual Engine. The only reason I'm not playing the Ritual Engine in this build is because it is a fairly big engine. You do want to be playing around 2 of the monster at least, and then you'll be looking at 3 Advanced Ritual Arts, 2 Advanced Ritual Arts, 3 preparations of rights to search out your level 7, and then 1 Chaos Form. So it's quite a big chunk of the deck that you need to play, but if you want to focus on that ability, you can do. You can also minimize the monster count, and if you want to focus on it and keep the engine small, all you really need is a card that searches you out the ritual monster, which can be Manju or Senju, and then you use Rod to search out your Chaos Form. So that is one route of doing it. And then finally, the card that will probably get banned, so do not spend any more than like 2 quid on this card, is Dragon Buster Destruction Sword. Now, I feel sorry for Buster Bladers, but the issue is this card does allow for some generic degenerate plays. It's very, very powerful to be locked out of your own extra deck is really, really powerful. Like, it just sucks. If your opponent locks you out of your extra deck, no matter what deck you're facing as well. So just imagine this, right? Imagine you're playing against the invoked Yugioh lineup, yeah? Their board can now, rather than just ending on like a Crush Heap plus a either Kaliga and Winder or a Mechbar and a Winder, they could end their board on a Mechbar, a Winder, plus a Union Carrier, plus having their Winder attached with the Dragon Buster, making it a 3200 bit that can't be destroyed by card effects. And not only can you only special summon once, you can't get into your extra deck. So unless you open up Gizmet Kaku and Winder is in the extra monster zone, which is not gonna be, there's no way you can get around it. So in certain decks, it makes the board unbreakable. In other decks, it makes them a bit more powerful. And you kind of have to balance everyone out at the exact same time. In this deck, what you can do as a nice little tech is you can put in a Synchro monster. Because the best thing about this is you lock out your opponent's extra deck for their turn with your Dark Magician sitting on 3500. Then if you want to, during your next turn, you can go in for the kill and swing with that Dark Magician at 3500. Or you can, if you've got an Eternal Soul that you can put into play, what you can do is you can use the effect of Buster Dragon Whelp to special summon itself and then sync it with your Dark Magician and itself. Make yourself a level 8 Synchro, and then revive the Dark Magician. So it has a lot of versatility in the deck, and it's crazy how good this card is. And I'm definitely going to be running it until the ban list drops. And if it survives the ban list, then this will be a permanent fixture of the Dark Magician deck. Moving on to the spells, we do play triple Dark Magical Circle, triple Soul Servant, and triple Allure of Darkness. Now I was considering Pot of Extravagance, but which you can do if you want to. You fully can. It did put in a lot of work when I tested it out before, but my extra deck is a lot of one-offs, so I don't really want to be maxing out on my one-offs in order to pretty much play the extravagance, because then I prefer the range of my deck rather than like one particular route, which is why I've kind of gone or opted more for this build than the other builds that I've played as well. We then played 2 Dark Magic Veil just for either early game or late game extenders. Being able to Dark Magic Veil, get your Dark Magician on board, that is part of the it's part of the combo, and it's also part of a way of getting a Dark Magician back, triggering Circle. If you get Eternal Soul, bringing it back and playing further through that way as well. Double Super Poly because we played Verte Anaconda. To open this up is a nice little board breaker. To send it as well can be very, very good because you can Super Poly your own monster and get into any kind of, or get into the Dark Magicians. You can also, if your opponent is playing dragons, you can Super Poly into Dark Magician the Dragon Knight. And if your opponent's playing Shadows, I don't know if you know this, but most of them are spellcasters. So you can actually Super Poly into a Quintet. Beautiful. And you don't even need to open it up. You just get into Verte Anaconda. If you wanted to, you've got Starving Venom that you can turn. So Verte Anaconda lets you turn a card into a dark. So let's say they've got a dark and a light. You can turn the other one into a dark and then fuse them two together into a Starving Venom as well. Then we play 5 one-offs. Now the one-offs we play is Secrets of Dark Magic, Eye of Timaeus, Monster Reborn, Pot of Acquisitiveness, and Magicalized Fusion. Now Magicalized Fusion is another card that you can send off of Verte Anaconda, which is why we main it. The Secrets of Dark Magic is searchable, which is why I only play one of it, because I've only really got the one target. Well, I've got 2 targets in the extra deck that I want to use and abuse for it, but one of it is enough. Like, if I want it and I desperately want it, then I'll search it. If I don't, then I don't mind leaving it in the deck to draw into it later. Pot of Acquisitiveness is just an additional precaution on my behalf. I really hate the idea of a lore and having to banish my Dark Magicians. That sucks. But I've put Acquisitiveness in there as a trial to see how it works and how consistent it is, because I want to see this later on after I've banished 3 monsters. Now obviously I banish with a lore, but I also banish my opponent's monsters with Circle as well. So I can give them back their monster and give me back both my Dark Magicians or however many like monsters I've banished. It is an option, you don't have to play it. Again, that's something that can easily come out and bump your Super Poly to 3 should you wish. Then moving on to the traps, we've got triple infinite impermanence. Hopefully these are a little bit easier for you guys to get hold of with the reprints coming in dual overload this week. And then put these straight in. It gives you a turn 0 Magician of Dark Illusion if you open it up. Or it's just generally a very, very good kind of negation card, because if you set it, you can lock out a column. If you don't set it, you can activate it during your turn, and it basically can't be called by the grave, which is very, very useful and powerful. And then finally, we've got the 1 Magician Navigation and double Eternal Soul. Now, the only issue with this deck is the consistency off of Circle has gone down quite a bit, because I've put in a lot of extender cards or a lot of cards that don't list Dark Magician. But that being said, I don't want to rely on navigation heavily. Eternal Soul, again, it's that Achilles heel. Until we get Dragoons, until we are able to, or until I put the build together where I'm consistently pumping out the Dragon Knight, there's not a lot of protection for it. So, in the build where you're playing like 3 Eye of Timaeus, the Dragon Keeper, and like flooding out the Magician of Dragon Knight easily, quickly, and consistently, that's a build that I'd play 3 Eternal Souls in. In this build, I'm only playing 2. I want it, I can search it, and it does the job that I need to, but everyone knows it's the Achilles heel of the Dark Magician deck, so the second you flip it, all they're going to try and do is get rid of it. So the second they non-target send it, it's going to nuke your board. You have to be very, very careful with it, which is why I play it on a more cautious level than most. Moving into the extra deck, the extra deck's got quite a lot of spice in it. So we'll start off with the 2 brand new cards, and that's Predaplant Verte Anaconda and Union Carrier. Now, Verte Anaconda, for those of you who don't know, requires 2 monsters, 2 effect monsters really, so it is generic. You can target 1 face-up monster on the field, it becomes dark until the end of the next turn. You pay 2,000 life points, send 1 fusion or polymerization normal or quick play spell from your deck to the graveyard. This effect becomes that card's effect. You cannot special summon monsters for the rest of this turn. You can only use each effect once per turn. So the idea is, because you're sending the Super Poly, you don't have to pay the discard cost, and you just go, pay 2,000 life points, Super Poly your board, and they're like, yeah, cool, fun. Now, my precaution, or my kind of note to you guys, is I don't believe we are going to get Dragoons of Red Eyes until this gets banned. I think we're going to have this for about 6 months, because at the moment in time, without Dragoons, it's not splashable. Not a lot of people are going to splash it around. It's a very good card, but I don't think it's going to be used and abused as much as it would have done if Dragoons was out. So then all Konami need to do is they let us play with it for a few months, and then they go, right, we're ready to give them Dragoons, because Dragoons will sell a set. It is a Dark Magician and a Red Eyes card, so the fans will want it. I want it. If they do not announce that Verte Anaconda is going to get banned, then everyone out there is going to want it. The set would sell. It could be the best set, it could be the worst set. All it needs to contain is 1 Dragoons, and people will buy it off the shelves like mad. It is an insane card, very, very powerful, very, very easy to make. So, at that point, that is when Konami can go, we're going to ban Verte Anaconda. Straight away, you lose the genericity of the Dragoons. Not everyone wants to play 3 Red Eyes Fusion, 3 Red Eyes, I think it's Insight that searches you out, or the one that searches you out a Red Eyes card, plus a Dark Magician and a Red Eyes in the deck. Most people are just playing like 1 Red Eyes Fusion, 1 Dark Magician, and 1 Red Eyes, or the ways of getting Dragoons out. So to have 2 negates and 2 pops is absolutely stupid, and to be a Towers as well. For our other Link monsters, we do play the 1 Mech Knight Crusader Avramax, just so that we can combo off with IP Masquerina. Now, if you have the ability, very rare in this deck, but if you do, IP plus Union Carrier plus Mech Knight Avramax. All you then need to do is you do IP and Union Carrier into Avramax. You've got an Avramax, you've got a Dark Magician that's locking your opponent out your extra deck. Pretty much GG from there on. For our other Link monsters, we do have the Nightmare Unicorn coming off of IP Masquerina. We've got the BLS Soldier of Envoy. Again, IP is busted. You use this with a Dark Magician and 1 other monster to make it a Link free. This then gets all of its effect and additional protection with IP. So if you want to, you can take out the Avramax and go with the BLS. If you don't want to, you can take the BLS and go for an Avramax. Either way round works. I have minimised my Fusion and XYZ kind of engine within this deck to make space for certain cards. So those type of cards are the first ones to be sacrificed. by BLS is what I'm saying if you haven't got one of those. We've then got the one Unduked and the one Wee Witch. Now we play a lot of darks in the deck. It's a Dark Magician deck, so I kind of still chose to stick with the Wee Witch over anything else. You can take it out if you want, but it does give you all a nice boost. Now, if you were to have your Whelp attach your Dark Magician, you then make your Dark Magician a 4k beater with a Wee Witch, and they can't get into the extra deck. So how the heck, unless they're going to pop your back row, how the heck are they getting past that? Then we do play three XYZs. One Ibon Illusion, one Red Eyes Flare, and one number 11 Big Eye. Big Eye will probably be the first sacrificial or the sacrifice of this. You can actually cut if you want to. It's very good in Link format, Master and 4, because you still Link monster and then build off of their zones. But to be honest, right now it could be the one that makes way for the second The Dark Magicians. Because, spoiler, I only play 3 fusion monsters, 1 Quintet, 1 Dragon Knight, and 1 The Dark Magicians. Now, Dark Magicians is the more consistent one, which you would probably first of all put this up to 2. The reason I'm playing this at 1 is because I can loop it with Eternal Soul, and on top of that, I've only got 2 ways of making it, and it's using the Quick Play spell, the Quick Play Fusion spell, and an Induct, or the Buster Whelp with my Dark Magician to make it, or the Eye of Timaeus. So there's a couple of ways of doing it, and a Super Poly, but it's not as consistent because I'm not relying on it heavily. Quintet, Super Poly, and Magical Eyes Fusion. Very, very consistent if you get the 5 to the graveyard. If you don't get the 5 to the graveyard, being able to Super Poly using your spellcasters and your opponent's Shadow monsters is going to be devastating. Because you make this with 5 different monsters, you then get its additional effect, it then becomes a Towers, and it then becomes a 4500 beta that your opponent cannot deal with. And then finally, we do play the one Borreload Savage Dragon. This can easily beat any level 8 in the game that you want. If you are battling towards time, you could play a Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend, you could play a Cyframe Lord Omega to recycle your banished cards, which could then take the pressure off of pot of acquisitiveness in the main deck. Again, entirely up to you on personal preference. If you don't want to use Savage Dragon, you can bump it up to a second The Dark Magicians, or like I said, any of the other level 8 synchros that are incredibly powerful. Keep this in mind, that by the time you have the ability to make this, which I'll show you now in the combo, the chances are that you would have the ability to link up or get rid of your link 2 in order to do that. So I'll be back with you in a sec and I'll show you the combo as well, guys. Right, so now it's time to show you the Dark Magician combo, or refresh you with the Dark Magician combo, and all you need are, for the full combo, are the cards in front of you, and of course Union Carrier right over here. So, what you need in your opening hand is one way of either opening up Dark Magician, getting Dark Magician to the grave, or getting Dark Magician to the field. Or one form of an extender, so this can also be Apprentice should you wish. Your normal summon, now your normal summon can be absolutely anything in your entire deck that can be normal summoned without obviously an additional tribute, because you need to have a board set up. Rod just gives you a little bit extra because you get the circle on top of that, or any kind of search, specific search as well. And then you need your revival spell or your kind of extender in order to get that as well. So you need 2 extenders and a normal summon. And what you do here is you will normal summon your Magician's Rod. I'm just going to keep everything down here just so you can see it without the glare. So you normal summon your Magician's Rod. Now the best one in the example is Souls, because you'd use Souls effect to send Dark Magician to the graveyard. You then obviously have Magic Veil in hand to bring back the Dark Magician, or any way of bringing it back. If you have an additional extender, let's say you open up the Shooter, then your Souls would actually summon you the Dark Magician. Either one works just as well. Basically, you need to be able to get 3 monsters, and you want your 3rd monster to be your boss monster. So, let's say we've used Souls effect, we sent Dark Magician. You could, if you wanted to, off of Rod, let's say we got the circle. If we got anything off the circle, excellent additional plus. If we didn't, Souls can then send the circle and give you the draw. You don't really need the banish of the circle right now. Then what you're going to do is you're going to link these guys together for your Union Carrier. You're then going to bring back your revival spell or your special summon spell. So for example, if it was... this is the best one for this because it brings from hand or field. So if your Souls was an Apprentice, then you would need an additional discard and you'd still be able to do the exact same thing. So what you do is you Dark Magic Veil, bring back your Dark Magician, doesn't even need to go to a zone it points to. If you have Eye of Timaeus, you can bump this into the Dragon Knight. Any kind of form of extension just helps you out even better. And then you use Union Carrier's effect to target your Dark Magician. So the way it works is you target one face-up monster you control. Equip one monster from your hand or deck with the same original type or attribute. The equipped monster gains 1,000 attack. If you equipped it from the deck, you cannot special summon the monster with that equipped card's name for the rest of this turn. So the idea is, use the effect, they are both darks, you equipped it with Buster Blader, Dragon Buster, Destruction Swords. Dark Magician is now 3,500, your opponent is completely locked out of the extra deck during their turn, and in order to kill it, you need to get past the 3,500 Dark Magician without going into their extra deck. So it'll be interesting to see how that happens. Before you attach it with a Buster Whelp, if you open up Eye of Timaeus, you can actually turn your Dark Magician or the quick play fusion spell to get into your Dragon the Knight. Then you could use Union Carrier's effect to target this. Not only is this dark, but it's also a dragon. You attach the Buster Whelp to it. This can now not be destroyed because it's protected with the Dragon Knight. And then Dragon Knight is a 4k beta protecting this. Your opponent is not going in the extra deck. Then, should you have an Eternal Soul, you can bring back the Dark Magician you've just fused away during your next turn, of course. Then, if you wanted to, your Buster Whelp comes off of this, and this turns into a Synchro. Whatever you want to do, the possibilities are endless. You just need to, of course, open up with the right cards. Anyway, I kind of overwent that one just so you could see the extent of what the combo can kind of do. But I hope this helped. I hope this gave you a couple of ideas for your own Dark Magician build or just adapting your own Dark Magician build as well. And it'll be cool to see what you guys can kind of come up with and develop. And, you know, it's always nice to get feedback on a Dark Magician deck, and it's always nice to kind of see how you guys at home have evolved your Dark Magician deck as well. But for now, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. And until next time, guys, as always, happy dueling.